Hey friends, last weekend was Epiphany Sunday, which is sometimes also called Three Kings Sunday, which commemorates what Matthew chapter 2 tells us about those magi coming from a faraway country to visit the baby Jesus. And usually when I think about that passage, I find myself focusing on the contrast between the magi who wanted to worship this newborn king and Herod who wanted to kill him. But as I was reflecting on this a couple of days ago, I found myself thinking more about the contrast between those magi and the Jewish religious leaders, the teachers of the law and the scribes, who directed the magi very specifically to go from Jerusalem where they were to that Bethlehem, that small little village about 7 miles away. And they did that because they knew where the Messiah would be born. They knew that because they knew their Bibles. They read and talked about and studied the scriptures. And so they knew that Micah, a prophet from the 8th century BC, said the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. So they sent the Magi off to Bethlehem. But they didn't go check it out for themselves to see if maybe this really could be true. This Messiah who they studied all about and longed for all of their lives was maybe just a couple of miles down the road. These magi, they're pagan people. They practiced astrology, following the stars, which would have been a really embarrassing detail for Matthew to tell us about because the Jewish scriptures all said that astrology was a big no-no. So when it came to Jesus, the Messiah King, these guys, they knew very little, but they acted passionately on what they did know. They took a long journey to a strange place, and when they found this child they were looking for, they worshiped him. The scribes and teachers of the law, they knew a lot. They knew their Bibles very well. They were supposedly longing for this Messiah to come, but they couldn't be bothered. And I guess I found myself thinking about all this because, I have a couple advanced degrees in religion and theology. I really like, reading and studying and learning more about this stuff. But what struck me in these past couple of days is that, while it's not a bad thing to learn more Bible and theology, it's an even better thing to be acting on what I already know of Jesus. Friends, in this new year, I just want to encourage all of us not only to be studying and learning more about Jesus, but even more so be acting on whatever it is we learn, to really be passionately seeking the places where Jesus is found and worshiping him. Well, thanks so much for your time today, friends.